Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss, another kiss.
Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and get into the financial news, and then I'm going to take some of your phone calls, and then we will continue on with what's happening with Al Gore. Portland police reopen Al Gore's sex abuse allegations. I'm going to get more into the Russian spies infiltrating Harvard and infiltrating corporations because they've taken America over. We were conquered a long time ago, so if the Russians will infiltrate the government, they infiltrate Harvard and Goldman Sachs, which they were doing. So continuing, that's what the New World Order is. They come in, corporate system, buy off your government, have laws passed to transfer governance power to the global corporations. Until now, you go to a UN meeting or you read the minutes of an SPP meeting or a Bilderberg meeting info or a G20. It's private interest there, openly telling the government what to do. And the government clicks their heels and says, yes, sir, boss, how high do you want me to jump? Foreign bankers say jump. Congress says, how high, boss? How many trillions do you want, boss? And then they have hearings later, and Congress gets uppity and says, where'd that $1 trillion go? I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you. I'm the foreign banker head. I'm the head of the Treasury. I'm the head of Goldman Sachs. I'm the head of Bank of America, and I'm not going to tell you, little slave. So, of course, the Russians tried to infiltrate the banks. Of course, they tried to infiltrate the illegitimate government. And that is espionage, and they should get in trouble. And by the look of these women, you know how they were infiltrating. That's spying 101. So that's coming up, too. But let us first just graze over the top headlines, then we'll mine back into these coming up. Ron Paul is scheduled to come up in the last hour today, now an hour and a half from now. MSNBC Radigan, stock market, an obvious corrupt fraud. What an amazing quote by an MSNBC host. We've got that video in the Raw Story article up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Continuing, Dow loses 10% in second quarter. S&P ends down 1,040 points. CNBC. Another CNBC story. Bad news on economy gives investors more reasons to sell. As the market is down several hundred points today, several hundred yesterday. In fact, guys, give me the latest stock market number, how many it's down right now, and give me the number, what it's currently at, how many points down and what the number is. Continuing, Fed made taxpayers unwitting junk bond buyers. Well, yeah, of tens of trillions of dollars of derivatives. And there's another 600 trillion, the Washington Post says, hanging out there. And you're going to pay that through dollar devaluation, through euro devaluation, through yuan and yen devaluation, and through new taxes. And it's now admitted that it's a global, coordinated destruction, and that there will now be a new global SDR that you will pay your taxes to at the IMF and World Bank. And the market is down to 9,741.30, only 32 points. So it's gone back up some this morning since plunging. So the plunge protection team likes a slow, gradual fall. Continuing, Feds made taxpayers unwitting junk bond buyers. Here's another one out of the Star Advertiser. We reported on this a year and a half ago and actually sent reporters to California and got reports from Hawaii where they're trying to lock people up at night who are homeless and not let them live in tent cities. That's one step away from concentration camps. California is now starting that. Homeless camps cover 50 acres from Waipio Point around Middle Lock and to Pearl City. And just thousands and thousands of people. The Star Advertiser. Funny, the Advertiser reported 8 days before, I have a copy of it, Pearl Harbor, that they were going to attack on the December 7th. They'd even gotten the intel, and then the base was ordered to stand down, and they follow orders in the Navy and in the Marines and Army. You know, you see a newspaper, and you remember all the other headlines. Yeah, it was the Honolulu Advertiser at the time. It's been changed to the Star Advertiser, but same paper, I'm told. So just a little side note there. Continuing, dollar should be replaced as international standard, UN report says. I covered this some yesterday, but you just can't. Michelle Bachmann came out yesterday morning on a radio show and quoted from this, a global government being established by the IMF World Bank that you'll pay your carbon taxes to, and they will now, as I told you years ago, still have the dollar. The article says that, but it'll be denominated and pegged to an international board of private banks who you will then pay taxes to for the right to hold dollars or to have new currency issued or credit issued. So this, before the private bankers had to act through national governments, but now they've taken those over. So now they're just transcending borders completely and are building their world government openly and sucking the nation states completely dry, like Nosferatu would, one of his victims. They've gone from sucking individuals dry to just sucking everyone dry. Yeah, there it is. Japanese may strike over weekend, and that's the Honolulu Advertiser. How did you guys find that so fast? And that date was actually 8 days before. People ask, well, how? Because they were giving Japanese time, which was a day earlier. But yeah, there it is. Japanese may strike over weekend. And then they list December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy. See, we had patriots in the Navy, patriots in the Army, patriots in the Marines. They'd broken the Japanese purple and blue code a year before. The British had given it to the United States a year before. The spy masters had. And because they had a whole global empire to run. Sun never set on the British Empire, and it doesn't today. Yeah, if you're a PrisonPlanet.tv viewer, the guys just found that. Will you guys save that? Because years ago, I found a copy of it in a book, and then I had one of my guys spend a lot of money getting it from the archives, and it took us about a week to figure out they changed the name. And then once we found it, it was sent to me, a original copy, cost, I think like $50, I forget. And then I lost it. It's somewhere around the office, but you found an online photo of it framed. Japanese may strike over weekend. And see, Honolulu Advertiser, just like I said. That's why the guys, you know, I can put an ad in Craigslist, and I don't tell people they're coming to work for Alex Jones because I don't want infiltrators. That's a way to get infiltrators, put an ad out. And it's also a way to get fans. And when they find out we actually work around here and that I don't levitate and float around, you know, then they get angry. Or they're not government infiltrators. They're like nuts who want to be me. And so they get a job here just to try to screw up what's going on here or to, you know, engage in operations. Turned out one of them was a cop. We found out an informant years ago, but we dealt with that. So this is the type of bizarreness that goes on. But side issue. I don't know how I got off into that whole subject. Oh, yeah, I hire people, and a lot of times they're like, yeah, I don't believe a word you say, but I'm taking the job. I'm like, you're exactly who we want. But when I'm talking about things, you will randomly search engine them. And then they search engine, and everything I say is right there for them, no matter how insane it is, just all admitted. You could also pull up, but I can't remember the exact headline, the San Diego, Herald Tribune, 64 article when the ships got back a few months later and they got off and said, nobody attacked us. We're told to shut up. It's all staged. That's how we know Tonkin was staged. And 40-something years later, we now know. But you can pull that one up. Wait. Let me pull up the exact headline out of my mind. I can do it. Hold on. It's a 1964 article out of San Diego. I think it's Herald Tribune, I think is the name of the paper. And the exact headline is, hold on just a minute. I'm going to try to remember this right now. Sailors say ships not attacked in Tonkin Gulf. Sailors say ships not attacked in Tonkin Gulf. And then the article quotes them, including senior officers, as saying that they were told not to talk about it and that they believe it was a staged event. I think they even used false flag as their Navy guys. See if you can get that. The Internet's incredible. Okay. Side issue. I'm already digressing, but that's what I do. Going over the financial news. Dollar should be replaced as international standard. UN report says, but don't worry, you'll still have the euro and the dollar. But now these bankers will be able to even more currency manipulation. driving it up, driving it down. So they'll have the best of both worlds. They'll be able to manipulate currencies with insider trading to consolidate their power through fraud, but only select mega groups. They'll be able to buy up all their competition with that unfair advantage. It's more than an unfair advantage. It's like straitjacketing the other football team and not letting and tying them down so they can't walk, and then running touchdowns back and forth for 2 hours, for 4 quarters, claiming that you